Hello, I'm FBX Toycat, and welcome back to Seed Sunday. Seed Sunday is a weekly series I run on my channel where usually I show you the best seeds that do exist for Minecraft console, so you can get the best heads up on a new world if you want to start one. However, this week's seed is one that's so amazing, so jaw-droppingly cool, that I think you want to check it out even if you don't necessarily want to start a new world, because basically this, seed actually offers you an infinite series of Mineshafts. So that means if you have an Xbox One / PS4 large size world, you can literally have thousands, if not tens of thousands of Mineshafts on the exact same world. It's a really cool seed. I've shown it off once before, long before seeds changed, but fortunately the the infinite mineshaft duplicating thing has remained since then, and that means this seed has an infinite series of mineshafts, an infinite series of ravines, and an infinite series of large caves on pretty much any place you can look. So yeah, it's a really cool thing that I just have to show you in today's video. Hopefully you'll do enjoy this. If you do like it, like me and let me know, because it helps out the channel, and let's know you do like these crazy seeds. Again, this is like a one in literally all of the seed thing, because it just so happens to exploit a way the seed generator works. But yeah, I'd appreciate liking the video. But with that said, let's get straight into it, and let's start by talking about this right here, the spawn. So if you type in that seed on screen right now, you're going to spawn roughly over here. I'd recommend doing it on the classic world size, even if you're on an Xbox One PS4, because it is a pretty good classic world already, because it already has a lot of mineshafts and stuff, and it also, if you generate on classic, gives you one, this spawn over here, but two, it gives you access to 2 ocean monuments just within the classic world size itself. And the cool thing about these ocean monuments is not just that there's 2 of them, 2 of one of the rarest structures you can find in Minecraft console, in addition to everything else, but also both of these monuments are kind of good markers to let you know where your first cave will be. So they're both at roughly 200, 200, one's just positive and one's negative, so we go to roughly here, let's say. So is that good enough? That's close enough for me. If you just dig down from about 200, 200, you'll probably find yourself, okay, right in here we are, you'll find yourself in the abandoned mineshaft. So here's some coordinates, just in case you want them, and basically this abandoned mineshaft looks like any other at the origin, which is where we are right now. It's like, oh yeah, I guess it's got some stuff we can go to the left and right, until you find yourself in any part where it duplicates. So because of this, the seed I showed you earlier is one of the very few seeds which exploits a small vulnerability in the way seeds generate, which basically means that all caves, mineshafts, and ravines, or at least large caves, not small caves, but all of these caves look at the seed to work out whether they should generate a cave somewhere. This is so they can get consistency, and it's so they can, have a roughly even amount of spread. It's so you get 0.1%. Basically, it's how they work out how to have, how to have mineshafts, caves, etc. And basically, this seed tells them just over and over again, generate a new one, generate a new one, generate a new one, and it loops the exact same mineshaft over and over again, which means that, I'll just show a little bit. It just goes over and over and over again, literally infinitely. If you had a PC-sized world where the seed does work too, it will literally go to the edge of the world, and no matter how big your world is, it will just go forever and ever and ever in one direction. In this case, it's east because we're on the positive x-axis. But if we just dig ourselves up, oh, by the way, the chests duplicate infinitely, the webs duplicate infinitely, the cave spider spawners, literally everything just goes on and on and on, literally to the edge of the world. But yeah, this isn't just cool because it goes in one direction because we're on the east, but also you can find it happening in the other direction too, and also because any single time any mineshaft starts, or any ravine starts, or any giant cave starts, they actually, the further you get in each direction, the cooler it gets. Because like I said, so let's go this way again. Let's walk past the first ocean monument. Again, it's pretty cool stuff. The fact that we're not even showing that off just shows how cool the rest of the seed is. Look, it's an ocean monument that we're just gonna mostly ignore because we've got other things to check out. Because if you just go about 300 blocks from that ocean monument, you'll find one roughly parallel on the other side of the map. I don't know if that's a coincidence or if that's something to do with the the way the seeds work. But yeah, pretty much on the opposite side of the map, you find yourself another ocean monument. So if you dig down, again, roughly near this one, you want to go to about 200, 200 each time, then you'll find yourself another mineshaft, or hopefully we will anyway. Oh, yeah, we did. So yeah, this mineshaft's a bit trickier, which is why I'm showing you it in a second, and it's also on fire, which is great fun, which means it's going to duplicate that fire over and over again, which will be, real fun to look at. But yeah, basically this mineshaft goes on forever too, not in this particular direction. Would we go to the right a little bit, maybe? Or the left a little bit? Basically, there is always going to be a point for each of these mineshafts where it does duplicate infinitely in each direction. So over, I think we dug into the wrong part of the mineshaft, because, like I said, there is always a part, okay, here it is over here, that will just duplicate endlessly, endlessly, endlessly. So just in case you're like, Toycat, I think what you're actually seeing here is just really long mineshafts. I think once you look at this and we go on for like several hundred blocks, you'll believe that, yeah, okay, well, it's happening in both sides, it is that way. But what makes it even more convincing than this to me is the fact that, like I said, the further you go in each direction, the more stuff generates, and therefore the more stuff that kind of converges into one. So if we place some cobwebs, this is a new X-ray glitch, by the way. If we place some cobwebs, you can see how just in the distance over there, can you see it? There's another mineshaft, and if we look on the other side, we might even be able to see one over there. We can't properly see it, but there is another one over there, because, oh, also, we see an infinite series of things over there. But yeah, basically, the cool thing about, the fact that this is that every time a mineshaft generates, it goes infinite, which means by the time you're at the edge of the world, there's like 50 mineshafts roughly parallel with each other, which means, yeah, infinite series of these things, which is pretty darn cool. So, have you ever wanted to have literally thousands of mineshafts on the same seed? well, this is one of those seeds for you. So, yeah, like I said earlier, this actually is a glitch which affects I don't know if to call it a glitch or an exploit or what, because basically it is something to, it's just using a number which the seed generator doesn't handle as well as every other number, which was found by someone on the Minecraft forum, so big thank to him, by the way. But basically, or the Minecraft Reddit, sorry. But basically, it's not just something which affects, the Mineshafts chem stuff, it affects everything. And the reason this gets so cool is because sometimes you find giant caves which are just astounding, and if you find them on this seed, they're going to be extra astounding because they loop infinitely. Also, it loops for, above ground abandoned mineshafts too, so if you ever wanted to find an infinite above ground mineshaft, good news, this one's got you covered, because even though that can't go infinitely, because it's based on terrain conditions, you can find them going on for very, very long, and I really want to show you that later. But first of all, let's show you the next thing I want to show you, which is an amazing large cave. So, yeah, like I said, small caves don't generate infinitely, because they're not covered by the seed, but if you go to minus 840, it doesn't really matter exactly where on the X coordinates, because you'll find it regardless. If you just dig down from here, eventually you'll find yourself in this really cool cave. So, this cave, actually, again, it's one of the biggest ones you'll find, and because it's on this particular seed, it means everything duplicates over and over again, which means if you look down this giant corridor here, you see the endless just abyss of like, oh, this over and over again. And it's really cool because it's not only just, the giant circle like this, it's also, if you look over here, the lava pit, loops infinitely, so infinite amount of lava, or at least all the way to the edge of the world. Everything will loop infinitely in pretty much the same way. The only thing that changes, because if you don't know, caves, they don't generate based on the blocks they're spawning, they're based on the blocks they're not spawning. So that means that, what is stone this time is slightly is that andesite next time, which is stone the time after that, which is sometimes it'll be like dirt and then gravel and then it's this, but you gotta keep in mind each time it's the same pattern. So these are stone this time, these are coal this time, they're coal again this time, then they're stone again, then they're stone again, then it looks like they're stone again. You get the point. The blocks are going to change each time, which is pretty darn cool if you ask me. Also, something that seems to spawn separately is the water and lava flow, so if you want to get a bit of variety, you can do that. But yeah, I absolutely love this seed because basically it offers you just an infinite amount of exploration, and an infinite amount of gold finding, diamond finding, etc. And because this particular cave, the reason I love it is because it links into abandoned mineshafts as it goes further on. So if we look to the left here, I think it is, it might be somewhere up here. Basically, this actually links into an abandoned mineshaft, like you can see right here, which means you have an abandoned mineshaft parallel to a cave, both of which, by the way, go on all the way forever, which is absolutely amazing to me. So if you ever get to a point like this where you're like, oh, I think it stopped, then it hasn't. You just have to go a little to the left or right, and then it goes on even further. So yeah, chests and stuff like that. Really, really, really awesome little thing to check out. And once we get to the edge of the world, which is about 1,000 blocks away from here, there's something even cooler to check out than this. So yeah, I've shown you giant, caves. I've shown you giant mine shafts, and I'm sure you can picture a giant ravine. They don't actually link into each other perfectly, so like it doesn't look quite so cool and astounding like this does. The infinite trek through the mine shaft. Oh, by the way, really cool thing to do with this is if you want to start a world and you want to have a metro tunnel going all the way across it, you can really easily have a mine shaft which literally covers the entire world this way. But yeah, I think this is just another stopping point, it seems. This mine shaft seems to be bugging than all the rest. Maybe it's because the giant cave nearby, which we'll go back into, and we'll fly through this. Because, yeah, you can see it's actually, the two things have merged now, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, I think this this is a particularly interesting thing, not just because it's cool looking at caves, but also because once you get far enough, you can actually start to see above ground structures, which this affects too. So bear in mind, this isn't meant to affect above ground structures. What's meant to happen is the siege number in this way only bothers below ground stuff. But because there is a below ground structure which is just below certain ground, oh, there's a monument somewhere around here, by the way. Oh yeah, just over here. So that's 3 monuments already, plus the rest you'll no doubt find on the rest of this seed. But yeah, as well as this, if we go down back to where the first mineshaft ends, you'll find something really, really cool, because abandoned mineshafts, which generate in mesa biomes, they actually generate below the surface of the mesa biome. It might seem like it's at surface, but it's just below the surface of a different biome, and the reason this is so cool is because it can cause some pretty bizarre stuff to happen, especially if you get a massive mesa biome, and when you have a large world size, like we do right now in the Xbox One / PS4, you're going to get some pretty giant biome. So look at the size right here of this mesa biome. Not only does this abandoned mine shaft, because again it's scrolling through that, not only does it go all the way from left to the edge of the world, because that's where it ends, this would have gone on much further otherwise, but yeah, not only does this mine shaft go all the way through there, but also if we look through here, so we need another potion, if we actually look through here, you can see how it duplicates over and over again, which means, guess what, more sets of infinite chests, more sets of this and that, and by the way, this is on Halloween, which is why there's pumpkin head zombies, there's more sets of things, more sets of, which I just find absolutely amazing personally. So yeah, basically basically, as you can see, it goes all the way to the edge of the thing. This is a giant above ground mineshaft. It might be the biggest above ground mineshaft, at least that can spawn, and it tries to go as far as it can. Again, bear in mind it literally can't because it kind of breaks after a certain point, but it tries to go right into the forest, which means if you want to find an above ground mineshaft in a forest, this is one of the few seeds where you're going to find that, which is, it's amazing to me. Again, this isn't something you usually expect to see because it's not meant to happen, but here we are anyway, with a bunch of just stuff we might not have. Also, cool thing about while we're here anyway, because it's a small thing, but in case you do want to come check this out, if you go down one of these long pathways, I think it might be this one over here, if you go down one of them at the very least, it actually does link straight into a mob spawner, which I find pretty darn awesome. Like, you know, it's already cool enough, and then it finds itself a mob spawner. It's somewhere in this forest, if I can actually find it correctly. But yeah, basically, is it this one over here, maybe? Basically, yeah, there's a mob spawner, which just links straight into one of these caves, which makes it even cooler, in my opinion. So, yeah, have you ever wanted to have a, Is it somewhere around here? I'm pretty sure I didn't mention it. But yeah, this is one of the coolest seeds I've ever checked out. It's one of the coolest seeds that ever will exist, that you have ever seen. And if you want to check it out, the seed was on screen at the start of the video. I definitely recommend doing so, just as like a little bit of an experiment. Because again, it's just such a bizarre little thing that you never get to see otherwise. And yeah, maybe this inspired you. Maybe it didn't. I'd love to hear anyway. Cool little side note before we go, just in case you're like, you know what, Soy Cat, I'm all abandoned mineshaft out. Well, here is an MC village, which has a pathway leading right into a desert temple. So, isn't that lovely? Yeah, anyway, I hope you did enjoy this video. Liked it if you liked it. Like it if you liked it. Share if you really liked it. And subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel. And if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. I've been talking about abandoned mineshafts for far too long now. So I guess I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.